today I will be talking about the 5 tools that you need to start your spiritual journey. It's really only 5. I know that quite a lot of excitement can come with starting a spiritual journey no matter what particular religion or path you may follow, but especially with the witchcraft, pagan, Wiccan, mystic side, you walk into a metaphysical store and it's like, oh, you kind of want to buy everything. But the thing is that, and I've had teachers tell me this too, it's important to buy things along the way, because if you buy everything right now, you may never use it. Everybody's path is super unique to them. And so even though one person may swear by having this one product, someone else can totally have a different answer. I curated this list from what I use daily and what I think can be very diversified, very versatile in a practice. But again, like what I just said, only take what resonates from this list. If you think that any or all of these would genuinely help you, then awesome. But if not, that's totally okay too. It's really up to you. So I would say the number one thing that, in my opinion, is crucial to any spiritual journey is a notebook solely dedicated to your practice. I kind of made the mistake, and I think maybe this might be a common story, but I bought this beautiful leather-bound kind of grimoire-esque book with a moonstone on it and all these beautiful patterns and stuff like that. But it was literally at the beginning of my journey, and so I ended up filling it with stuff and I didn't approach it in a very organized way, and so now I'm like, oh no. So I ripped pages out of this beautiful book and now it's kind of messed up with the stitching and I'm like, ugh. So when I first learned about the notebook thing, it was introduced to me by having a junk BOS or junk BOL, which stands for Book of Shadows or Book of Light, whatever you want to call it, or you can just call it your journal or notebook, it's up to you. And with that, not only is there much lower pressure to make it look pretty, but you can work through the things that you want to work through in the order that they come up in. If there's something very significant that you would like to include in a nice, fancy, little grimoire-esque Book of Shadows one day, then you can use a fancy book for that, you know, kind of set it aside if you already have one, or you can buy one in the future and decide how you want to lay it out and what you want to put in there. I personally prefer these smaller notebooks because then I think it's easier to fit in a purse or a bag or something. You can bring it wherever. I've had so many over the years. I'll literally see if I can do this without looking. This and my most recent one, which I'm still filling out, is this. I also often mark mine with colored sticky notes and little tabs, just so I can keep track of what types of entries are on which pages and things that I want to refer back to often. And so again, I will emphasize that this book should be dedicated to your practice only. This is a special book. You can put your research of whatever interests you in there. Also, tarot spreads, tarot interpretations, angel number meanings, dreams, spiritual experiences, maybe spells that you want to try if you are going the kind of witchcraft pagan route, and or any shadow work that you want to do. There's a lot of beautiful videos about shadow work here on YouTube. I might make my own in the future, but basically shadow work is when you dive deep into your past experiences, into trauma, into your feelings, what events in your daily life provoke what feelings and why, exploring what are you afraid of, what are some things maybe from your life that you feel you haven't been able to move on from and why, that kind of stuff. I use my notebook literally every day. And so moving on to the second tool I recommend, which is a pendulum. I didn't realize how versatile pendulums are. Basically, you can get yes or no answers from the divine, or you can cleanse your field, you can banish an entity from your space, you can heal your energy. There is so much you can do with a pendulum. Basically what it does is that it's rooted in electromagnetics and applied kinesiology. It lets you accomplish a whole bunch of beautiful things with your field and with connecting to the divine. There's a bunch of different types of pendulums out there. There's some made of crystals, which I'm sure you've seen in metaphysical stores, some that are made out of metal, wood, seashells. My teacher, actually, my main mentor right now, hers, it's so cool. It's literally a nut. It's a nut of some kind, and it literally has this metal spike through it, but it looks so cool. I'm pretty sure she made it herself. It can be super personal to you. I actually made mine pretty early on in my journey, and it is a seashell that I found on the beach. It is a shell. It looks like it could be a shark tooth, but I mean, I'm pretty sure it's a shell. It's this perfect oblong shape too, so I just love it. An important thing I want to mention about pendulums is that I know that a lot of stores sell those yes, no, maybe, ask again mats for them, but I'm telling you, each pendulum is different. They will have their own energetic response patterns. And so honestly, there's a high probability that when you get your pendulum that's perfect for you, that resonates with you, it will not match the response patterns that are on those mats that you see at the store. The way you're able to find your pendulum's unique response pattern is after bonding with it for a while, you'll ask it, show me a yes answer and show me a no answer. The general rule of thumb is that you wrap it around the index finger of your dominant hand and then pinch it with your index finger and your thumb. And then you literally kind of maybe do it a little longer than that. Yeah, you hold it and you rest your arm on a stationary object like a table or something to make sure you don't sway or anything, and you ask your questions. Before you can do that though, I mentioned bonding just a couple of seconds ago. And so the way you can do that is by having your pendulum under your pillow when you sleep, keeping it in your pocket or your bra, just having it near you for a couple hours every single day. And eventually, after doing that for a while, it doesn't take very long, maybe a couple days to about 2 weeks or so, you may be able to intuitively tell when it feels empowered. And then you can go ahead and ask your questions. Show me a yes and show me a no. For mine, a yes is back and forth, and then a no is side to side. Some others I've heard a yes is a clockwise circle, and then a no is a counterclockwise circle, or I've even heard of some people having the opposite, where the yes is a counterclockwise circle and the no is a clockwise circle. They can go diagonal too. Either way, the yes and the no will be distinctive from each other. And so the next thing I want to talk about is some type of intro book in the particular religious field that inspires you. I, for pagan, Wiccan, witchy kind of paths, highly recommend this book by Denise Zimmerman. Even if you're not quite sure if you want to specifically identify as a witch or as Wiccan or as pagan, it's, I think, a very nice foundational concepts book. It explains a nice introduction to kind of what's out there, what you can focus in on. Topics like herbology, divination, scrying, celebrating the Sabbats and the Esbats, which is just our term for our holidays, Wheel of the Year, and celebration of the moon phases, if that resonates with you. It's nice to kind of get a feel for what is all there in that sort of umbrella of the old world tradition. It's very easy to understand, and it's broken up into a bunch of different chapters. I do, though, highly recommend reading it front to cover. That's what my very first mentor told me, who gave me the book, and I'm so happy she told me that, because truly it's set up in a very intentional way. Sometimes maybe, I don't know, if you're tempted to just jump to the spell section, you have to build the mechanics and you have to build the foundations first. Really get in touch with your why. Why do you want to pursue this path specifically? What are your goals? What are your aspirations? Is it to improve your life? Is it to help the people around you? Is it to apply skills that you know you've always had? Is it to understand more about the divine and about the universe? Ask yourself those questions while you read a book that inspires you. I still have mine and I reference it quite often. Whatever religious path you want to follow, do some research. See what types of intro books other people recommend, other gurus in that area. And so now the next thing I want to recommend is some type of cleansing thing, some type of cleansing material, whether that is sticks of incense, bundles, or if you can't quite do smoke, I know that some people, it hurts their lungs. I love room sprays of various nice, empowering, cleansing herbs. I got this at a local farm. And or essential oils. Specifically, I highly recommend frankincense and rose. Those are two extremely high vibrational herbs, and they have beautiful cleansing properties while keeping the good vibes in your space too, because that's the thing. Depending on what herb you choose to burn or diffuse in your space, it could totally be a blank slate where it just gets rid of everything, Or it can be just as effective of getting rid of the bad stuff while keeping the good stuff. And be careful, because a lot of the popular bundles that they sell at the mainstream metaphysical stores are appropriated and endangered species of herbs, specifically white sage and Palo Santo. Just those herbs that belong to certain cultures. So I just highly encourage you to, if you really do resonate with those herbs, get it locally, please. Or if you belong to that culture, you can go ahead and use it. This will allow your space, your home, your energetic field to be fresh and good and clear of all the yucky external energies that may try to get to you throughout the day. And like I said earlier, you can banish things from your energetic field and your space and realign to source, to the universe, whatever god, goddesses you believe in, with a pendulum too. And so the very last thing I want to recommend is actually selenite. Selenite's pretty affordable depending on where you go. And these, I think, are the best starter-friendly crystals because they're so low maintenance. It's a cleansing crystal by nature. These are to keep your other crystals nice and fresh, and your space and your altar space if you do want to set up an altar, if you feel called to do that. Or if you have tarot cards, I have a much smaller version of this with my tarot deck. I don't have to cleanse this very often. It stays empowered and nice and clean for a while. When I do cleanse it though, I usually put it over a stream of frankincense. But again, this really helps keep everything clear and nice so you can do your work with as little disturbance as possible. It's just nice because I think with a spiritual path, at least I really aim to not only understand the universe, but to elevate my vibration. And so to do that, you explore the topics you love, you do shadow work, you work on healing and cleansing your field and your space on a regular basis so that you can kind of climb these stairs. And the higher up you climb, it's literally based in science itself. Those things that are below, like yucky entities, I have my Across the Veil of Field guide series if you want to learn more about sort of the lower dimensional energy beings. The higher up you are, it decreases their capability of getting to you. You can live your best life and be super connected to the divine and your true self. So yeah, these are just some of my daily practice tools that I have that I love, that I've used consistently throughout my whole journey. They're so helpful for me and they're so versatile, and so maybe you can take away one or two or all of these items. If you really are starting your spiritual journey now, I'm so excited for you. Trust me, it is worth it. It has its up and downs like everything in life, but the thing is that I don't think I've ever understood myself or understood the world and the universe more than I do now because of my spiritual journey. Let the universe or whatever you believe in guide you step by step, and everything will fall into place. So that is it for today's video, guys. Thank you so much for watching. If you found this helpful, cool, please go ahead and give it a like, leave a comment down below even if you want. Wishing you a great rest of your day, and I'll see you soon.